Hello, good morning to my Angela Shows You community. I know I have not been doing a lot of videos in the last week or so. That's because I was a vendor at a craft show this past weekend, and so I wanted to just share a little bit about some of my thoughts and experiences with being a vendor in a craft show. So this, hopefully, if you are newer to getting into being a vendor at a craft show, I'm hoping that you will find this information helpful. If you have done craft shows in the past, then this may or may not be anything that you don't already know. But hopefully, if you've done some craft shows in the past, maybe you will hop into the comment section below and add any of your thoughts or experiences that you have would like to share. So I did a Canaltown craft show this past weekend. This was the second year that I participated in this particular show, and it was the third multi-day show that I have done so far this year. I will admit that this year I did not do as well as I had hoped. I didn't come close to the sales that I made last year. Now, when I take into consideration what I make at a craft show, primarily, the kind of the things that I subtract out of the cash that I end up with is the booth fee and the cash that I took to make change with up front. So, say you take, $100 in ones, fives, and a couple of tens, and the booth costs $100. So you're invested up front $200. So if you the first $200 that I make, I consider recouping that kind of negative that I started with. So you want to make sure that you take into consideration, you don't want to count in your sales the $100 that you took with you, because that was your money to begin with. And then, so if you sold $400, take $100 for the booth fee out, that's $300. Take another $100 out because you started with $100. So you made $200 profit. Of course, so the more profit, the better, because that's money that you make. That's money that is, you've profited that from your show. Now, of course, if you're doing it as a hobby, that's like I do it as a hobby, and it's like extra money, it's fun money, it's money to buy more supplies. However, if you're wanting to do it as a business, then you also want to keep receipts and you want to keep track of all the money that you bought in supplies. How much money did you spend? Depends on what you're doing as a craft. Are you making shadow boxes? So you want to take into consideration the cost of the cardstock, the cost of the frames, the cost of the fairy lights. If you're doing something with your Cricut, how much did you spend in the vinyl? Did you replace your mats? Did you buy tools? And some people, like, if you're getting into business, then you might even take into consideration the cost of the equipment. Did you buy a Cricut machine? Did you buy a heat press? Did you buy a printer? If you're sewing, did you buy rotary cutters? Did you buy, how much fabric did you buy? Did you buy a sewing machine? Did you buy an embroidery machine? Did you buy needles? If you're getting right down into all that nitty gritty. Now, because at the moment, this kind of stuff is just a hobby for me, so I don't always necessarily take into consideration how much money I spent on supplies. I roughly keep a little bit of track. This is something that I want to do and probably for the 2024 calendar year, it may be something that I keep track of even more. So, like I did mark down, so I bought a new tent at the beginning of the summer this year because the tent that I was using last year actually broke. So, I need it for the multiple day events that I do in the summertime. You need a tent because you set up and then you leave your stuff set up and then you break down at the end of the weekend. So you need a tent that has sidewalls that zippers up. So I bought a tent. Did you buy tables? Are you buying displays? So things like that you're going to want to keep in mind of your expenditures. And then, so maybe you're not necessarily pulling in a profit at those shows, but you're recouping the cost of the tent or the tables or, any props. Are you doing jewelry? Did you buy, necklace displays? Did you buy earring displays? If you're, buying like little baggies or even bags that you are giving your customers their product in. So all those things are things that you're going to want to keep in mind. And then as far as the craft show itself goes, I would just recommend, when you're set up, you don't necessarily have to be super outgoing, but of course you want to say hello to people, greet people, like usually if people come in and they touch one of my bags, I'll say, those are machine washable. If they're looking at a bowl cozy, I'll say, that can go right in the microwave. Put your bowl in the bowl cozy, stick it right in the microwave. That way when, you take it out of the microwave, you just pick the bowl cozy and you don't have to touch the hot bowl with your fingers. You might want to give ideas. Sometimes if people look at something and I'll say, I use it for this, or I have friends who have that and they use it for this. Like, like those little boxes that I did the tutorial on a couple weeks ago, they're the ones that were made out of the 10 by 10 square, so I might say, those might be good to put in some candy and a gift card. Give people ideas of what they would use the item for, and then of course trying to not be on your phone while you're at a craft show, and just make yourself appear approachable so that people will come into your tent, they'll talk to you, you can engage with them. If you have business cards, let them know, hey, here's my business card, my stuff is on Etsy, or it's on here, or I have a Facebook page or whatever. And then I know I've had people that haven't purchased from me at craft shows, but they'll contact me later and they'll say, hey, I met you here and you had this and I was wondering if you could make me this. So it's a great way. It takes time, but it's a great way to start building a clientele. So I hope that some of these things will be helpful for you, and if so, please give a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe to Angela Shows You so you don't miss out on future content. Have a good day.